Hello everyone, today we're learning Bobekama Daf Mem Zayin. We're up to a few lines down. V'omar Rova. So we learned in the Mishnah that if in the ratio of the Mishnah, the case was that an ox called a cow, and we don't know when the baby was born, and the baby is also dead of this cow. Was it born before the goring and it's nothing to do with the goring, or after the goring and it's to do with the goring? So we said, Tzumchu says, says Rava, when you ain't showing when you want to estimate how much you need to pay, when you have to pay for this mother and for this baby that was dead, you don't look at the cow, how much it's worth alive and dead, and how much the baby's worth alive and dead. That's not how you look at it. You estimate it together, the cow, with a pregnant cow, how much it's worth alive and how much it's worth when it's dead with the baby dead. If you don't say so, if you'll estimate it each one separately, it's worth much more than when you estimate it together. And therefore the mazik is going to lose and is going to need to pay more, and later on we're going to see why maybe he should pay more. And this similar thing you find, Reuven cut off Shimon's slave's hand. So if you'd go and say, let's look how much was Shimon willing to take his eved and cut off his hand, it would be a lot of money. You wouldn't be willing to do it only for a lot of money. The way you do it is you look how much is such an eved worth without a hand, and how much is a eved worth without a hand, and that's less of an amount. If Reuven damaged Shimon's field, and if you estimate only where he was mazik, the fruit that he was mazik, the trees he cut off, will come out a big amount. That's not how you estimate. You estimate a base, or Rashi says, a certain amount of his field. Let's say a dunam, you say in Hebrew, a certain amount of base saw, and you see how much it was worth before he cut off those trees and how much it's worth after he cut off the trees. You don't look at the trees by themselves. Omale Rav Acha, Brady Rova Rav Ashi, Rav Acha, the son of Rova, told Rav Ashi, if the way you should estimate it is the cow by itself and the baby by itself, so the mazik should pay this more. What's the problem? We say you can't do that because then the mazik will need to pay more. If that's the din, that's the way the din should be. What do we care that he pays more? So the Gemara, Mishum de Omalei, because the mazik says, listen, you had a pregnant cow, I damaged your pregnant cow with its baby, so we'll estimate the pregnant cow. I didn't damage you separately a cow and separately a calf, so that's why we estimate it together. The Gemara doesn't really explain about the case of cutting off the Eved's hand and the case where he damages trees, why you do it on the more kolodik way. Pshita, says the Gemara, Pshita parod echad, if you have two partners, one owns a cow, v'vlad echad, and the other one owns a calf, pitma, and then it got damaged, and we want to know, so now we see this cow is very fat, it has good fat in its meat. So if it has good fat, the Baal Parah, and it's worth more because of that, so the Baal Parah gains that extra value because the baby didn't bring the fat in the meat. Nafcha, the weight or the size of the cow, well, how do we estimate that? That also goes to the Baal of the Parah. That you split because the baby brings the extra weight. The locha is they split it between the Baal Parah and the Baal Vlad. Says the Mishnah, Akado, the potter, that he brought in his pots. The chotzer balabais to the chotzer of the balabais, shloi b'rishus. So this potter took his pots and put it into someone's rishus, let's say into Reuven's rishus, without asking him permission. He put it in his property. And the behema of the balabais broke these pots. Pot of the balabais is potter because he had no rishus, no permission to bring them in. And if the cow got damaged from these pots, it tripped over these pots and got damaged, Balak there is chayav. The owner of the pots is chayav to pay for the damage that he caused. If he put it in with the permission of Reuven, who let him put it into his rishus, so Balachotza chayav, Reuven will be chayav to pay for the damage that the pots broke. Okay, that's case number 1. Case number 2. Ichnis Pereisa v'chotza balabais. Someone put his Peres in Reuven's chotza, shloi b'rishus, without the permission of Reuven. V'ochlosam b'imishel balabais, and Reuven's cow, sheep, or donkey ate these apples. Potter, he doesn't have to pay because they shouldn't. It's shame b'rishus. In my rishus, you don't pay. V'imhusku b'im bal Peres, if the bala Peres. If the cow got damaged from these apples, we're going to see in the Gemara what type of damage. Bala Peres chayav. The one who brought in the Peres has to pay because he caused damage over here. If he brought it in with permission from Reuven, Balachotz chayav. Balachotz is chayav for what the cow ate his fruit. That was case number 2. Now case number 3. Someone put in his ox in the chotza of Reuven without permission of Reuven, and the ox of the balabais gored this cow, or he bit it. Potter is potter because you're not allowed to put it into marishus. This ox that was in without permission gored the ox of the balabais chayav. The guy who owned the cow, the ox is chayav. And this ox that was there without permission fell into the well of Balabais, into his hole where he stores his water, and he destroyed the water, made it moldy and disgusting. Chayav, he has to pay for the damage. Or the father or the son of the Balabais were in this bor, and he fell on this cow they put in Varushus, fell onto the father or son and killed him. The owner of the ox has to pay koifer. But if it was with permission of Reuven to put in the ox, Reuven will be chayav for the damage that this cow caused, or killing, or etc. Rabbi argues, we said until now that by me giving permission to someone to put something into the property means that I'll guard it, I won't damage my cow and I'll guard it. If I said you could put it into my rishus, doesn't mean that now I'm going to guard your cow. All it means is you could put it there, but you have to still guard it, that shouldn't cause damage. And if it causes damage, you need to pay. Said the Gemara Duke. It said in the ratio of the Mishnah. In the second case, in the ratio of the Mishnah, the first case is 2 cases. There's a case where he put it in without rishus, and there's 2 things that happened. One, that he gored the pot, got damaged. We said he's potter. And the second case is that the pot damaged the balabais, his cow, and we said he's chayav. So we're saying Tamad Shalei B'Rishus, the whole reason why he chayav the potter, because he put in the pot Shalei B'Rishus. Ha B'Rishus, or if he put it in B'Rishus with the balabais letting him to put it in, Loi Mechayev Bal Kteres B'Nizke B'Emtoi. The potter won't be chayav, he'll be potter if his pot caused damage to the behemoth of balabais, the balchotza, v'lo amrinun, and we don't say kibule kobil balkteres neturusoi de behemoth de balchotza, and we don't say that he was mekabel on himself, guarding that the pot won't cause damage to the behemoth of the balabais. Moni Rebbe, that's Rebbe the Oma, who said kol bestoma, if you just let him in permission, loy kobil neturusoi, he wasn't mekabel on him to guard it. So let's explain this a little better, Lefi Rashi. Pshat is azot. The Gemara at this point understands that, like when I tell this potter, you can come and put in your pot in my rishus, I'm mekabel on mishmira that the pots won't get damaged by my cow. Also, the potter is mekabel shmira that his kalim won't cause damage to my cow. we both have shmira. I have shmira not to damage your pots, and he has shmira not to damage my cow. And since we medayik that if it was bereshus, the din is you'll be potter that the pots cause damage to the balabayis, we could see that you mekabel on himself, that you not mekabel on yourself shmira if you're potter. L'chera, that's Rebbe, nor Rabbanon. Okay, Ema Seifa, let's continue in the Mishnah. If the Balabayis Reuven let him put in the pots, Balachotza Chayav, the Balachotza has to pay for the damage for the caused the pots. Ason Rabbanon, that's going to Rabbanon, the Amri Bistomi Nami Kobil Oleni Tirusa, that Bistam, without being Mikabel Shemira, he's Mikabel Shemira, because it says over here that if you put it in Berushus, even though they wasn't Mikabel Shemira and it caused damage and he broke the pot, the Balabais' cow broke the pot, Yichayev, that's like Rabbanon. The two and more so, Rabbi Yomi at the end of the Mishnah it says Rabbi Yomi bekulo meinu chayev achi kabel olo Balabais lishmor. It says clearly that the Mishnah Rabbi's din that letting permission to put in your cow doesn't mean I'm going to guard it. Reisha v'sefer Rebbe, the beginning, the first case of the Mishnah is Rebbe, and the last case of the Mishnah is Rebbe Mitziosa, and the middle case is Rabbanon. Does it make sense? Omar there a Tavra, yeah, you need to break up this Mishnah. Misha Shonazu, Loi Shonazu. Yeah, the Reisha is Rebbe, the Seif is Rebbe, and the middle is Rabbanon. Rava Amano, Kula Rabbanoni, the whole Mishnah is Rabbanon. Uberishus, when Reuven lets the potter put in his pots, Shmiras Teras Kibelolov Balchotzev, Afilu Nishber Barach. Lefi Rabbanon, when Reuven tells a potter, you could put in my pots in here, it means you could put in your pots and I don't want you over here. I'm going to guard your pots from getting damaged, and I'm going to guard your pots. They shouldn't damage my cow. The full Shmira Mekabo myself, and therefore I'm chayev if my cow breaks the pots, and the Balakteris is potter if his pots cause damages to the cow. And therefore the whole ratio is Rabbanan, and the Sefer that says clearly Rebbe is Rebbe, and it fits in much nicer. So the next case of the Mishnah, Eichnis Perus of Lechotze Balabais, it says in the Mishnah that he put in the Perus in the Chotze Balabais without permission. We said if the cow of the Balabais ate the Perus, he's potter, and if he got damaged by the Perus, he's chayav bala Perus to pay. Omar Rav, says Rav, Lo Shonu. This where we said that we get if the cow of the Balabais got damaged, the Bala Perus is chayav ela she'uchlu koboin, that the cow slipped on these Perus and broke his leg. Aval if he ate these perus and it wasn't healthy for him, and he ate too much or something and got damaged, potter. My timing, what's the reason? What's the difference by slipping and eating too much? The Bala Perus could tell the Bala Paro, your cow shouldn't have eaten it. So it's not my fault, your cow ate, it got damaged. Omar Rav Sheishes, said Rav Sheishes, Amina, I said, Kinayin de Shochiv Rav, when Rav was sleeping, Omar Lahoshmaite, he said this. Basically, it's nonsense what Rav said. It doesn't make no sense. I have first a Braisa not like this. And obviously, he said it when he was sleeping. The Tanya, we learned in the Braisa, I know he's in Samamo Beslifnei Be'emas Chavero, someone who puts poison in front of his friend's animal, Pot Medini Odom, you can't, and he dies, it causes him damage. You can't sue him in Besdin, but in Dina Shemaim, he will be chayav because at the end of the day he caused this animal to die. So we'll do a diuk, says Rav Sheishes. Samamov is poison who do avid de ochlo is because poison probably doesn't smell good, doesn't look good. The cow doesn't normally eat it. That's why we say it's potum medine odom. Aval Perus, if it was Perus, that's normal, David de Ochla, that's normal for the cow to eat. Bedine Odom Nami Nechayev. There, the din won't be part of Bedine Odom. Even Bedine Odom, you'll be chayev because you poisoned my animal. V'amai, why is it so? Lefi Rav, you should say Aval Esheloi Toichal. You should tell the Balabais, I'm potter, because you should tell the person who owned the cow, your cow shouldn't have eaten. If this is a good reason to say your cow shouldn't have eaten, you should say your cow shouldn't have eaten it. And Amri, the Bnei Yeshiva said, Hu adin really afilu peres nami potter medina odo. Really, even if you put peres and the cow ate too much or the sheep ate too much and died, you can't swim in Bezdin. So why did it say in the Braisa dafka samamoves poison? V'hokom mashman, this is a chiddush in the Braisa. Dafilu samamoves, even poison nami, even though that it's not normal for the animal to eat this poison, chay bedine shomayim. You still will be chay bedine shomayim because at the end of the day you caused my animal to die. V'iboy say another teretz samamoves. Nami, when we says in this Braisa samamoves, what type of poison are we talking about? Nami ba'afrasta da'ainu peri. It's a type of weed that causes the cow to die, but it's normal for the cow to eat this weed. So therefore, it's literally peris, and therefore clearly, even we could say a raya from the Braisa to Rav, that you can say aval shelo toichal, and that's why you potter midine odom. So we don't have no kash on Rav, so Rav obviously said it when he was wide awake. Meisive, you have a kash on Rav, a woman came into someone else's property to make flour from the wheat. It's a balabais in someone's property, without permission of the owner, and the behemoth, the balabais ate all this wheat. Potter, you don't have to pay because it was of our rishus. And if it got damaged, the behemoth got damaged, the woman has to pay for the damage that happened to the cow. Why so? You should say, your potter, the Gemara understands over here, that it says husko, it got damaged by eating. And you say Yichayv, why you should say if Rav's Chiddush is true? Amri, Bnei Yeshiva said, is this a bigger kasha from our Mishnah to Kimno Shuchloko when we said Husko, it means it slipped, bohen. So also here, when it says Husko, it means it slipped. It doesn't mean they ate. But if you eat and get damaged by eating, you won't have to pay because you could say Avale Shelo Toichal. Says the Gemara, the Korilo Makorilo, the one who asked the kasha, what was he thinking? It's exactly like the Mishnah. Like the Mishnah, we said Husko means Huchleko. So also here, Husko means slipped. Omar he'll tell you, Bishlei Masnisin in the Mishnah Ktoni Husko Behen. It got damaged by them. That means Shehuchloko Behen, that it slipped on them. Who? That one means Aval Hocha, but here in the Braisa Ktoni Husko, it says if he ate, it's potter, and if he got damaged, so it doesn't say by them, it's mashma musko by eating. But lo ktoni boyen, it doesn't say by them, meaning by slipping, it's mashma achilu de ktoni. It's mashma eating. If he ate it, it's potter, and if it got damaged, it doesn't say by them, it means by eating them, it's continuation. Therefore, the kasha was, why the isha chayeves? The idoch, and the one who says a teretz also means huchleko. That it says bohen doesn't make a difference, and we could still say, even when it doesn't say bohen, you could say it means it slipped. Toshma, come and listen. Ich nishur lechotze balabais. Said in the Braisa, someone put in the cow in the chotze balabais shelo b'rishus without permission. V'ochal chitin, and this cow, this ox, ate wheat, the trees, and it got stomach bug, some type of stomach issue, mace, and it died. Potter. The Balabai says Potter because he brought in this ox without permission. If he brought them in with Rishus, Balachotza Chayev. The Balachotza is Chayev if he put in this cow. Berishus, Balachotza is Chayev because this cow ate something and got a stomach issue and it died. So it says clearly that we don't say Avale Shelo Toichal. The Balabait could say, oh, your cow shouldn't have eaten. V'amai Avale Shelo Yoichal. Omar Rova says Rova Teretz Bershus Asheloi Bershus Koromis. You asking me a question from a case where I gave you permission to put your cow in and it ate and it got damaged. I need to pay Asheloi Bershus. In a case where you put it in Sheloi Bershus and it was without permission. It's a big difference. Bereshus, when I let you put in your ox into my chotza, shmir shore kibel olov. I was mekabel to keep your ox. Vafilu chonekes atzmoi. Even if it strangled himself, I have to pay because I was mekabel shmira. So even more so, if it ate unhealthy food and it caused damage, I need to pay. For sure, I'll have to pay. And where did Rav say his chiddush? Rav said his chiddush in a whole different case. In a case where it was shaloi bereshus, and then no one was mekabel shmira. Thank you very much.